Good evening. Welcome to the Great Indian Election. This is the National Election News Headquarters. Let's get started with our final episode of the Great Indian Election. Well, we're reaching that final phase of elections, the seventh and final phase, we'll see voting in 57 constituencies on the 1st of June. We are focused on the northern region. Our focus today is on the eastern part of India. Remember, the south and the west, along with central India, all seats voting is over. So we're looking at 9 seats in West Bengal, 6 in Odisha, Bihar 8 seats, Jharkhand 3 seats, combined, making this one of the best or the best of the best when it comes to the battle for West Bengal, Bihar and Odisha in this particular phase. Well, moving to Bihar, Bihar has got 8 seats in this particular phase, all 8 seats coming from the Magad Bhojpur region, and big tickets like Patna Sahib, Sasaram, Nalanda, Karakat, the Ara, that could throw interesting numbers on the 4th of June when the EVM boxes open, and we could see some tough contests there on the cards. Jharkhand, just 3 seats, but all 3 seats in the Santal region, and Jharkhand has entered the election fray or the poll fray, pretty late along with Odisha, and they continue from the time that they have entered, having a long run from 4, 5, 6 and 7 phases of election. Odisha again, 6 seats in Odisha, but looking at the all 6 seats, 3 in northern Odisha and 3 in coastal Odisha. That's how the 6 seats in Odisha get completed in the final phase of election. Finally, West Bengal that we are looking at. West Bengal, 9 seats in West Bengal, 6 in the Deltic region, 3 in the southern plains, especially seats like Jadavpur, Kolkata Dakshin, Kolkata Uttar, Diamond Harbour. You're going to see very keen contest, and it could all go down to the wire, especially on the 1st of June when big tickets, big names whose fates will be decided by the EVM machines. Well, this is how 2019 numbers look like. Trinamool Congress bagging 9, the BJP bagging 9 in the eastern part of India, BJD picking up 4, JDU picking up 3, JMM picking 1. Put that all the numbers together, the Congress or the opposition here has just 1 seat in this eastern bloc, and the BJP once again having a lion's share. If one takes a look at BJP having 9 seats, the JDU having 4, put that together, you've almost got 12 seats that the BJP holds. The BJD and the Trinamool Congress not in any coalition, so you have close to 13 seats, which fall in the category of others in this fray. Well, this is how the seats in the north, 31 seats in the north, 26 seats in the east, 31 seats in the north. The NDA holding the lion's share, 18 seats for the NDA there. The opposition alliance, 9 seats, 8 of which come from Punjab, and that's where the battle will be played out. Others picking up 4 seats in this particular phase, or the northern part of India, 4 seats for the others in this region. Moving to the east, 26 seats, as I mentioned, BJP picking the lion's share, 12 with the BJP. Others, the Trinamool Congress along with BJD, that's Naveen Patnaik's party there, holding on to 13 seats. The opposition alliance just having 1 seat that the JM managed to win in this election fray. So that's how the election looks like. A total picture, the 57 seats in phase 1, the opposition or the NDA has 30 of the 57 seats. The opposition alliance has 10 seats and others pick 17. So this is the best phase when one takes a look at the elections. Of the 7 phases, this is the best phase where the BJP looks a bit brittle. The opposition would be looking to make great inroads, but you can see tight contest, very tight, going down to the wire in this election phase, phase 7 of India's parliamentary elections. A quick look at the big ticket candidates. Ram Kripal Yadav, R.K. Singh, Union Minister, Pawan Singh fighting as an independent. You've got Upendra Kushwaha there, Ravi Shankar Prasad fighting from Patna Sahib, Pratap Sarangi, another Union Minister in the election fray, fighting from Odisha. Star candidates in this final phase of elections. Let's also flip through and take a look at the seats from West Bengal, where we have more star candidates. Nishikant Dubey fighting from Jharkhand, Sita Murmu fighting from Jharkhand, Abhishek Banerjee, Mamata Banerjee's nephew in the election fray, fighting from Diamond Harbour, Sudeep Bandyopadhyay, Sugoto Roy, heavyweights, political heavyweights from the TMC looking for a return to Delhi, Dr. Anirban Ganguly again fighting from West Bengal. But interesting, that's what I said, it's a race, or it's the phase where you will see political heavyweights in the election fray. Well, we've all reached that phase. Once phase 7 is over, we are all eager from 1 to 4th of June. What happens before the EVM boxes are opened and, we get the numbers trickled on the 4th of June. My colleague Antara Sinha has put through this package to help us understand, how your votes are saved and how does the counting process take place on the 4th of June. A look.
Welcome to the last edition of Election Digest. This segment has covered most aspects of Election Commission of India and India's general elections. Now, as India heads into the last phase of polling for India's general elections, we are here to discuss on a very intriguing topic, vote counting. So how is your vote counted? How is the whole process taking place? Let's find out. At the close of poll, the close button on the control unit of the EVM is pressed. The total votes polled in the electronic voting machines are noted and the close cap is refixed. And the EVM is then switched off. The cable is disconnected and the EVM is sealed and moves to counting centers. As polling concludes and the EVMs are sealed, under the watchful eyes of the election observers, the specialized and dedicated counting officials start the crucial job of counting EVM ballots. Upon arrival at the counting center, the sealed EVMs are verified for any signs of tampering or damage. The counting process begins with the opening of the control unit of each EVM. The total number of votes recorded in the control unit is noted and compared to the number of votes cast as per the records of the presiding officer. After verifying the control unit, the ballot unit of the EVM is opened. Each vote recorded in the ballot unit is counted and the count is cross-verified with the total number of votes recorded in the control unit. Once the counting is completed for each EVM, the total votes counted are juxtaposed with the total votes cast in the polling station. Any discrepancies are addressed and resolved in the presence of election officials and party representatives. The results from all EVMs used in a constituency are compiled to determine the total votes secured by each candidate. Once all the votes are counted and verified, the Election Commission of India officially declares the results. Well, under extreme scrutiny, security and oversight, the EVM counting process takes place and completes. Well, that is all in this edition of Election Digest.
Well, thank you, Antara, for that fine report there on your vote, how it's saved. Time now to get to our correspondents on the ground. We've got two correspondents, two guests joining us this evening. Let me first introduce my two guests, Chakshu Roy, Praful Ketkar with us to help us understand phase 7 of elections. You've got Salman Haider joining us from Bihar, Ashutosh Mishra joining us from Odisha. Let me first come to you, Salman. Bihar and the seats in Bihar, how does one take a look at the 8 seats? Any keen contests that we can look forward to in the 8 seats from Bihar?
There are 2-3 seats where the contest would be tough for NDA candidates as well as the Indy alliance. First of all, Buxar is there from where Ashwini Chaubey was MP from here. But a new candidate has been fielded by the BJP, NDA alliance. Okay. So there would be, because on opposition, an IPS officer is there.
Okay.
To find. So Anand Mishra is there, where he is locking horn with the BJP candidate Mithilesh Tiwari.
Okay.
So, another hot seat is Ara, from where the Union Power Minister
RK Singh is there.
is there, but there is a diagonal fight. I think there is not much contest there. But in Karakat, the triangle fight is to be seen,
Okay.
because one rebel from BJP,
The Bhojpuri singer.
yes,
Okay.
singer Pawan Singh is
Pawan
there.
Singh is in the election race.
There are challenges on
Okay.
2 or 3 seats, but rest is okay.
Okay,
And
so you,
all the poll preparation has been made. Yes, yes, Anil.
so it's going to be a keen contest, especially in 3 seats of the 8 that you mentioned in Bihar. Let's shift and welcome Vishal Baristo also joining us from West Bengal. Vishal, looking at the 9 seats in West Bengal, 6 in the Deltic region, 3 in the southern place, Jadavpur, Kolkata Dakshin, Kolkata Uttar. But where could you see one of the keenly fought battles, among the 9 seats in West Bengal, which should be the seat that, people should keep a close eye on?
Well, a very good evening to you, Anil. Now, before I answer to your question about the interesting contest that is between the TMC and the BJP, though it is said to be a triangular contest with the India bloc also chipping in, but largely the contest we have seen is between the TMC and the BJP. As we compare the situation in other states, like there has been a tragedy in Mirzapur in UP where 7 home guards died due to heat stroke. But here in West Bengal, after the cyclone, things have cooled down to a great extent. In fact, the weather is very pleasant here. But the only concern is that it should not rain because it has already started to overcast. The temperature is 31 degrees. Okay. But then the weather could play a spoil sport that could, in some way disturb the rising voting percentage, which was 80% in the 6th phase.
Okay, shifting to bringing Ashutosh Mishra on board, joining us from Odisha. Ashutosh, looking at the 6 seats, 3 in northern Odisha, 3 in coastal Odisha, any keen contest that we should look forward to?
This time actually, almost every seat is witnessing a very keen contest because the campaign has been high voltage.
Okay.
Prime Minister himself has campaigned. He has had several rallies, and in the last rally held in Mayurbhanj, he raised the issue of Chief Minister's health, which has become a big issue in this election. He also raised the issue of development of Orissa. He says that Orissa has not developed the way it should have developed under a Chief Minister who has ruled the state for nearly 24 years. And almost every seat, because this time it's a keen rivalry between BJP and BJD. But some of the seats, of course, for example, the Balasore seat, where former Union Minister Pratap Sarangi, he is contesting against a former Union Minister Shrikant Jena. So that is a very interesting contest, and BJD has put up a new candidate. She was with the BJP earlier, she joined BJD, and BJD has put up Lekha Shri Samant Singhar. So it's a triangular contest, a very keen contest. Balasore will witness a very interesting contest. Similarly, in Kendrapada, where BJP's National Vice President Baijan Panda is contesting, he is contesting against someone who was earlier with the Congress. He joined the BJP and he has been fielded by the party from Kendrapada. He is the son of a former BJD veteran, and he has very good contacts in the constituency and lots of popularity also, like Mr. Panda. So it's going to be a very interesting contest there also. Mayurbhanj, for example, it's the only northern Orissa seat which is going to the polls tomorrow. It will witness a very interesting, it is witnessing a very interesting contest in the sense that state's disaster management minister, Sudham Marandi, who was earlier with the JMM, he is contesting on BJD's ticket from there, and against him is JMM's candidate, Mrs. Soren. She is Ranjita Soren, I think, and she is the sister of Hemant Soren, the former Jharkhand Chief Minister. She is contesting there, Rajni Soren. And another candidate from the Congress is also contesting. Congress has left the seat for JMM. There is another candidate from BJP. This is also a very interesting constituency. Similarly, Jajpur, Bhadra, all these. And we should remember that of these 6 seats, 4 were earlier with the BJD and 2 were with the BJP. The Balasore seat and the Mayurbhanj seat. These
Okay.
were with the BJP. But
Okay.
this time the contest is very keen, the issues are very important, and the campaign has been high voltage.
Okay, the campaign has been high voltage. Appreciate all three of our correspondents there. Vishal Barrister joining us from West Bengal, Ashutosh Mishra from Odisha joining us, Salman Haider joining us from Bihar. Appreciate you joining us this evening, getting us the latest inputs from ground zero. Well, time now to shift focus to our guests in the studio. Chakshu Roy in the studios, Praful Ketkar joining us from the national capital. Let me come first to you, Mr. Ketkar. You know, the battle in Jharkhand, just 3 seats, but looking at the way things stand, do you see this to be one of the keenly fought contests, especially in Jharkhand in these elections?
Especially the because this has the version where the Soren family actually
Okay. Well, I believe there is some issue with the audio. Let me get Chakshu on board. Chakshu, looking at or taking your opening comments on the 7th phase of election, how do you see anything in particular that catches your fancy in this phase of election? 57 seats, but somewhere that the opposition sees an opening to enter in this election in a big way.
I think this is one of the smaller phases in the elections that we have seen, but still about 10 crore electors, about 1 lakh polling stations. A couple of interesting things. If you look at West Bengal, the number of candidates who are contesting, if you see comparison between are they older, are they younger, the number of younger candidates in West Bengal is comparatively less than, let's say, Jharkhand and Bihar. So I think my colleagues had put together some numbers. I think 22% of the candidates contesting in West Bengal are below the age of 40. For Bihar, that number is about 30%. For Jharkhand, that number is about 29%, so roughly similar. So that's one interesting aspect. I think any contest which has sitting union ministers automatically becomes a little bit more interesting because it reflects on the fact as to whether the outcome of those elections will impact something around the next government formation, assuming for the sake of argument that political party comes into power. The third part is, this is the last phase of elections. And about 8,300 candidates contesting for 543 seats. The quiet phase is entered. So it's also a moment of reflection about what did this election mean.
Okay.
One last number that I want to leave you with, that this is probably the election in our entire 75-year history which has 10% of the candidates contesting who are women candidates. So that's another interesting thought for our viewers to think about when they're looking at the program.
Okay, Praful's back with us. Praful, your thoughts especially on Jharkhand and the way Jharkhand has, before the elections and all that happened, in the process of elections, how do you see Jharkhand shaping up in, especially in this phase, the final phase of election?
See, this particular area, Rajmahal, Dumka, Goda, these are the areas where, the Soren family, this is Soren family's bachelor.
True.
This is the place where the real campaign for independent or separate state of Jharkhand started. So, how does people there respond? Last time, BJP actually first time managed to breach this bastion. And therefore, I would be very interested, especially seeing the background of this election when Mr. Soren, who was the chief minister then, has been facing corruption charges, who is accused by the BJP of, taking lands of tribal and manipulating many rights related to mining. So, how does people, the tribal people who stood by the senior Soren, Shibu Soren, long ago, how do they respond to this entire scenario? I would be really, interested. So, I think all over impact of, the Shibu Soren, or rather, Hemant Soren episode will be reflected, if at all, is in this region.
Okay.
And that's why this region is going to decide the overall mood of Jharkhand.
Okay. Your thoughts also on West Bengal, the 9 seats in the final phase. 2 things I'll put into perspective. First, Sandesh Khali that happened and the fallout of it. followed by, the CAA that came into play. Do you think that's like a small lifeline that Mamta is holding on to float in West Bengal?
This region, Anil, I would not take only Sandesh Khali and CA as the issue. This is the area which has been TMC's bastion,
True.
especially the constituencies like Jadavpur or Kolkata Dakshin, Diamond Harbour. BJP has won, and Dum Dum also long time back BJP used to win there. But otherwise, this has been the Bhadralok, the clear-cut Bhadralok who stand by the Bengali pride and Mamta Banerjee. So here she would try to play the Bengali nationalism card. One, two, the federalism card.
Okay.
West Bengal's rights, West Bengal's economy, West Bengal's Delhi trying to take over Bengal, that kind of an insider-outsider issue. These are the issues she will try to play a lot in this particular field.
Okay, Chakshu, elections, 5 years when they come, there is a process, there is a learning curve that you do. If 2019 elections was all about WhatsApp, if 2024 elections can be given to the fight that is played out on YouTube?
I think so, and I think it is always a constant challenge for election where parties have to reach. So, for example, this time around 1 billion voters were on the rolls, I think 960 million people. How do you get across to such a large electorate? Clearly, door-to-door canvassing, which was popular in the 50s and the 60s and the 70s, is no longer a mechanism where which you can reach out to a large number of people. So is it going to be YouTube? Is it going to be animated videos that you can spread on WhatsApp? Is it going to be communication through pamphlets? So I think what political parties have thought about is what is it that is going to get them the maximum amount of reach with people. With lower data prices, accessibility of cheap phones, YouTube is one of those engaging mediums where people would want to push across this message. So not only have you seen political parties do a lot of videos, you've seen individual candidates make videos about their accomplishments in the constituency.
Praful, your thought, especially on, we've discussed West Bengal, we've discussed Odisha. Your quick thoughts on Bihar, the 8 seats in Bihar and also Odisha. How is this battle in Odisha now playing out? Naveen Patnaik saying, no issues with my health. I'm going to win both. I'm going to take control of Odisha again. And the high-pitched battle that Prime Minister has made, especially when it comes to Odisha facing Assembly and Lok Sabha polls together.
Odisha has been always interesting, especially when they vote simultaneously for Lok Sabha and Assembly elections. This time, it is going to be a more tough battle, simply because first time BJP and BJD both have managed to keep Congress completely out of the picture, and they are fighting it out. Last time the electorates had voted in Lok Sabha for BJP and in Assembly for BJD. This time, one, because of the long anti-incumbency that Biju Janata Dal has been facing, and of course the issue of Mr. Naveen Patnaik's health. These are the two issues on which BJP is hoping to make some inroads at the assembly level also. But these are the areas where Odisha is going for poll is known to be a relatively, Odisha otherwise also is, the mining rich state, relatively, when you compare it to the Bhubaneswar Cuttack region, this part is relatively more underdeveloped. Natural resources are very, very high and rich, but whether Mayurbhanj or Balasore or Kendrapada, they are not known for many of the indicators, especially the human development indicators. They are not supposed to be very good, and therefore how these voters who are seen relatively poor, underdeveloped region, they vote, that they actually show the maturity of Indian democracy. they have the sense to vote differently for the Lok Sabha candidates and assembly candidates. And there, I find Odisha very interesting. But as far as Bihar is concerned, I think this is in the BJP stronghold. Again, all eyes will be on hot seats like Patliputra or Patna Sahib or Ara, whether RJD family, the Lalu Prasad family is able to really take up the challenge to defeat BJP in this stronghold. One, two, how far this CPI ML, because 3 of the seats that will be Bihar going to poll will be contested by one of the Indie Alliance constituent, which was supposed to be one of the most violent group at one moment when Bihar was seeing caste wars. So CPI ML is contesting on 3 seats. So there I would like to see how Indie Alliance performs when they have given seats to their communist partner. In that sense, Bihar, because this was the area where at one point communists used to have
Sebastian, yes, you're right.
Tight control.
The CPIML, the partner there, getting 3 seats and all 3 candidates in this particular phase of elections. I think we're going to leave it there. Appreciate both Praful Ketkar as well as Chakshu Roy with us in the studio. It's a pleasure having you here across the 2 months. We've learned a lot about elections. It's all boiling down to June 4th when the boxes open and the numbers come out. I'm sure you two are going to have a busy day ahead. Lots of learning, lots of talking. I think you want to have a final word. Yes.
First of all, I must congratulate DD India for covering, the entire Indian general elections in a fantastic way. Two, in this phase is very important for me. After Tamil Nadu, if one state I would like to watch very carefully on 4th of June will be Punjab.
Okay.
And Punjab is going to vote today because this is first time. We often talk about post 370 Jammu Kashmir. This is the Punjab which is where Congress and Aam Aadmi Party. So post Aam Aadmi Party Punjab without Akali Dal BJP alliance is going to vote.
Okay, a four-cornered contest that we are seeing in Punjab. 1st of June is when Punjab is voting. We're going to leave it there. Appreciate all of you joining us. A pleasure learning, this election process that we have enjoyed through the last 2 months. I'm going to thank everybody on the panel, my entire crew that worked tirelessly to put this show together. Hats off to all of you. With that, it's a wrap of this edition and the entire election build-up on the Great Indian Election. You can connect with us on Facebook, X and Instagram. Good night. Stay safe. Take care.